Ever watched a YouTube unboxing and thought, that looks perfect, but will it actually work for my house when the storm hits? You're not alone. A lot of us have bought generators that seemed great on paper, only to find they're either too noisy, underpowered, or just a pain to start when we need them most. That hesitation is real, and the last thing you want is to spend a few $100s on a unit that sits in the garage and never gets used. In this video, I'm going to walk through the Honeywell 14kW home standby generator, break down what it really delivers, and help you decide if it's the right fit for your home. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why a 14kW standby generator is even a consideration. For most suburban homes, a 14kW unit is enough to keep essential circuits running. Think refrigerator, furnace, a few lights, maybe a sump pump while the grid is down. That's the sweet spot between I can't afford a whole house backup and I need enough juice to stay comfortable. The Honeywell model promises precision power technology for clean power, an all-aluminum enclosure for durability, and a smart sync controller that claims easy user interaction. Those sound good on a spec sheet, but the real test is how the system behaves once it's installed and the power actually goes out. Installation is the first hurdle most buyers face. This isn't a plug-and-play device. The 14kW Honeywell comes as a rear Detorin engine and a separate transfer switch that has to be wired into your home's electrical panel. If you're comfortable with a qualified electrician handling the hookup, the process is straightforward. The generator sits on a concrete pad, which you'll need to prepare in advance, and the instructions guide the technician through hooking the fuel line, electrical connections, and grounding. What matters here is the all-aluminum housing. It's lighter than a steel frame and resists rust, which is a plus if your home is in a humid climate. However, that lighter chassis also means the unit can feel a bit more prone to vibration when it's running under load, so you may want to add a rubber isolation pad under the base to keep the surrounding deck from shaking. Now, let's get into everyday usability. One of the biggest complaints with standby generators is the startup delay once the power fails. Honeywell's G-Force engine is pressure-lubricated and designed to spin up quickly, and in my testing it actually started within 810 seconds after the automatic transfer switch sensed a grid loss. That's fast enough that you won't notice a flicker on most appliances. The Smart Sync controller simplifies the manual start process. To press a button, and the unit begins its self-test, then ramps to full load. The quiet test mode is a nice touch. It runs the engine at a lower RPM for a brief 5-minute check, which reduces noise and lets you hear any unusual sounds early in the cycle. Speaking of noise, the Honeywell is quieter than many comparable units, hovering around 65 dB at a half-load point. That's about the level of a normal conversation, so if your generator is placed near a side yard or a screened patio, you'll rarely have to worry about disturbing the neighbors. Practical strengths become clearer when you consider real-world scenarios. Imagine a severe thunderstorm that knocks out power for an entire evening. With the Honeywell hooked to a correctly sized transfer switch, the refrigerator and freezer stay on, your furnace continues to run, and the sump pump activates automatically, preventing any basement flooding. The generator's precision power technology claims less than 5% fluctuation in voltage, which translates to smoother operation for sensitive electronics like your home office router or medical equipment. In a recent community forum, a homeowner mentioned that after a 2-day outage, the unit ran continuously without tripping, and the appliances returned to normal without any error codes. While that anecdote isn't a formal test, it aligns with the design goal of delivering clean, stable power. On the flip side, there are some hidden trade-offs you should be aware of. The total fuel consumption at half load is roughly 1.4 gallons per hour, so if you're planning to run the generator for an extended period, you'll need a sizable fuel tank or plan for regular refueling. The built-in tank holds about 8.5 gallons, giving you roughly 5 to 6 hours of runtime before you have to top up. That may be enough for a short outage but could become a logistical challenge during long-duration events. Also, there's a manual aspect to the oil change schedule. Honeywell doesn't have a self-draining system, so you have to monitor oil levels and perform maintenance every 500 operating hours. For a homeowner who prefers a sit-and-forget solution, that adds a small but noticeable upkeep burden. Who should buy this generator? If you're a homeowner with a moderate electricity demand, especially those who rely on a furnace, well pump, or home office equipment, The 14 kilowatts Honeywell hits a sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for owners in areas with frequent but brief outages. Think summer.